If this found you today, it was not by accident. There are moments in life when your heart picks up a truth before your mind can explain it. That steady feeling, that quiet knowing that won't leave you alone. It sits behind your thoughts and it keeps tapping you, like it has a reason and a purpose. Life is trying to show you something connected to this story, this bond, and a choice that can't be delayed much longer. This is not here to scare you. It's here because staying silent can start to hurt more than speaking ever could. You may have felt the confusion strongly. Some days, everything suddenly feels cold with no clear reason, like the space between you and them grows wider, and then small signs appear that bring the heat back. Memories, tiny actions, sudden thoughts that prove the fire never fully died. Stay with me, because this part matters. Source. That emotional back and forth is not all in your head. It's like a reflection of a struggle happening inside the other person, a hard fight between pride and feeling, between fear of being open and the need to protect themselves, between cutting the tie or finding the courage to face what they truly feel. You don't always see it, but it's there in the quiet moments, in the fear they hide, in the messages they type, erase, and never send, in the words they rehearse alone, then swallow. Because saying yes to a real commitment can also mean saying yes to a serious life change. And change is scary. Real love asks for surrender. It asks you to loosen control, to drop the armor built over years, to walk forward even when you don't know where the path ends. And once you care for real, you can't pretend you don't. Source. Maybe you've questioned yourself. Maybe you've wondered if you imagined the depth, if you expected too much, if the connection is real, or just a fantasy made from loneliness. That doubt hurts because it exhausts the heart. It makes you feel like you're giving more, feeling more, waiting more, and carrying the weight alone. But listen with a calm mind. When a bond grows from something deep and true, it doesn't simply die because of time or distance. It changes, it stretches, it gets tested to the edge, but it doesn't vanish. And when someone runs from what's real, life has a way of turning them back toward it. Something is starting to crack inside the one who walked away, not a bad breaking, but the breaking of the masks they wear. Wait, because what happens next is where things shift. Source. There comes a point when acting like the bond doesn't matter becomes impossible. The emptiness of being apart starts to weigh more than the fear of a promise. And right at that line, unexpected things begin to happen, not because everything magically fixes itself, but because the soul can't keep hiding what it's been screaming in silence. This isn't a message telling you to force anything. Life is not asking you to chase, push, or drain yourself trying to prove your value. Instead, the move is to watch, to trust, and most of all, not to betray your own gut just because you fear losing them. Because when you choose from inner truth, life brings clear answers. But when you choose from panic and worry, everything tends to freeze. If you've been waiting for a sign, pay attention here. Source. Right now, there are two paths. One path is to keep doubting what you feel, downplaying the signs, and telling yourself it's safer to quit before you get hurt again. It looks logical, it feels protected, but it slowly walks you away from what could have grown into something stronger. The other path is to stand tall without begging for attention, without forcing contact, but also without shutting your heart down. It's staying grounded in self-respect and faith, letting the other person walk through their own process. That path brings clarity. The cost of avoiding it is repeating the same painful loop, same stories, same empty spaces, same questions with no answers. Life repeats lessons not to punish you, but to teach you, because it knows you can love deeply, yet you may also tolerate too much when you shouldn't. Don't click away. This next insight explains the pullback. Source. There are quiet shifts already happening, inner choices that may not show up in the physical world yet, but you can feel them. Life isn't rushing, but it isn't stopping either. And when the right moment arrives, things line up in a way the logical mind can't control. That person feels the loss even if they're surrounded by others. They feel the risk of losing the link even if they act confident. Because bonds like this don't get replaced easily, and when someone tries to escape, life keeps placing the same name, the same memory, the same feeling in their face again and again. So watch your body and emotions, not because you need results today, but because peace comes from knowing what's coming isn't a quick impulse. It's a truth that has been growing in silence. And later you'll understand why it didn't happen sooner. Source. To understand why someone pulls away right when the bond feels strongest, you have to look deeper than the surface. Many mind experts have said this for a long time. When two people share a powerful connection, it often acts like a mirror. A mirror doesn't judge. It simply reflects what's there, clearly. In this bond, the other person doesn't only see your love and care, they also see their weak spots reflected back at them, their unfaced fears, their old pain, their hidden shame. One famous idea says that whatever we refuse to face inside will show up outside, almost like fate forcing the lesson. So when someone receives real acceptance, it can feel threatening if they have not learned to accept themselves. That's where the shadow comes in, the parts of the self we hide or deny because we fear rejection. Source. When your love touches those dark corners, the ego jumps in to defend. So they don't run from you. They run from what your love makes them feel about themselves. They run from being fully seen without their masks. The connection shines so bright that it lights up the areas they wanted to keep hidden. That's why the behavior looks unstable. One day the desire wins, and there's closeness and hope. The next day, the fear of being truly known takes over, and they retreat, wanting you close, then pushing you away because your light feels too much. But hear this clearly, their retreat is not a verdict on your worth. It's a confession of their fear. Accepting real love takes courage because it requires dropping control and standing exposed. And yes, that is terrifying. If this is hitting home, type, "I trust my gut" in the comments. Then keep listening. Source. The most common mistake at this point is trying to force closeness, trying to fix their fear with more proof, more messages, more effort. But from the mirror view, the more you chase, the bigger and louder the reflection becomes. And if someone is afraid of their own shadow, your chase can feel like pressure. So they step back to feel safe. This push-pull isn't random. It mirrors a war inside them. Pride versus love. Running versus staying. Fear of losing control versus fear of losing you. In a strange way, their running can show how much it matters. People don't build walls against what means nothing. They build fortresses around what feels valuable and risky. That's why you see coldness, silence, mixed signals. Often it's a mask buying time while the deeper truth keeps rising. Don't skip this next part because it changes how you respond. Source. The move is not to break the mirror or polish it for them. The move is to let the mirror do its work while you stay centered. No chasing, no running. This creates a safe space where fear can slowly turn into curiosity, then into acceptance. And here's the rule that shifts everything: the law of empty space. Think of the connection like a rope. If one side pulls hard, the other side pulls back to keep balance. As long as there is chasing force, there will be resisting force. But when you pull your focus back, not as a trick, not as punishment, but as real self-love, the pressure disappears. Their push away suddenly has nothing to push against. They lose balance. Silence enters, not just no texts, but a real energy gap. And nature always tries to fill a vacuum. At first, they may feel relief. Then that relief fades into unease, then into worry, then into a cold emptiness they can't explain. And when distractions stop working, truth gets loud. If the bond is real, the silence won't kill it. It will make it echo. Source.